friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're designing a multifaceted lampshade. Now I'll be honest, this one uses Blender, not just Fusion 360. And I know Blender looks intimidating, but for this project I'm using exactly one simple modifier. That's it. And I'm doing it this way because building this shape in Fusion 360 would take forever and the results would be way less consistent. So let's jump right in. Okay, so in this project I want to start by creating something that resembles a lampshade. So I'm going to go to sketch and I'm going to choose this plane, and I'm going to take a line from the middle and go to 250 mil, and from here on the bottom I want to make let's say a 30mm line, just about there. And on the top I want to go to, let's say, 60mm. Okay, and the next one I'm going to take one more line from somewhere around the middle, which is going to be there, and I'm going to make a line that's 128mm, and that's half of my 256 build plate. The reason I'm making this is because my next fit point spline, I don't want the whole thing to be bigger than the build plate. So I'm going to take a fit point spline from here and I'm going to go somewhere there, I'm going to go somewhere there, and I'm going to go somewhere there. And like I said, I just want to make something that kind of looks like lampshade, which this one looks like a profile of a lampshade, but we're going to solve that in a second. So finish this sketch, and I'm going to take these two profiles and I'm going to create a revolve out of this. I'm going to select the axis as this one, and there we go, we have something that resembles a lampshade. Now from this, if I go back to my timeline into the sketch and I'm not happy with what I've done so far, I can just modify some of these points, and when I say finish the sketch, the whole thing is going to be modified for me. So I'm pretty happy with this shape at the moment, and this is everything I'm going to do for now in Fusion 360. And we're going to switch to Blender, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to create that multifaceted effect on a simple smooth object. So let's export this as a STL file. So we're going to call this let's say lamp1, and we're going to export it. We're going to come back to Fusion 360 after we've done everything in Blender. So let's switch to Blender quickly. And like I said, if you never use Blender, don't panic. This is going to be super simple. So this is what happens when you open Blender for the first time. You're going to get a whole bunch of crazy stuff all the way around. But what we want to do is go to General. So we're going to open a General project. And we're going to select everything from here and just press delete. So we're going to start from scratch. Now we're going to go to File, and we're going to import that STL file we just created. So we're going to go to Downloads, and we're going to select lamp1, which we just created, and we're going to go to Import. Now pretty much the whole thing works almost like Fusion 360 when it comes to maneuvering around your image. If you hold Shift and click your middle mouse, you can move around your image, and if you hold your middle mouse and move your middle mouse around, you can see everything that you got on in your project. So super simple, we don't have to complicate too many things. We want to go to this little key icon, which is called the modifiers. We're going to click that, and we're going to add one simple modifier. And let's go to search, and we want to look for decimate. And there we go, we have the decimate modifier in Blender. So from here we just want to take this ratio and click somewhere on it, and while holding click we want to drag this number to where our object starts looking like a really cool multifaceted lampshade. So that to me looks actually pretty good, and I'm really happy with that. If you want to go a bit more or a bit less, that's up to you, but this is how you use this decimate modifier, and I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and export this file into another STL file, and we're gonna go to save it in the same place, and we're gonna call it lamp 2. Simple, export as STL, and now we can go back into our lovely Fusion 360. Now we don't need to worry too much about this because we're done with it. So let's get a new design going, and we want to create a new design, and from here we're just gonna insert a mesh, and we're gonna go to my computer and we're gonna insert the lamp 2, and we're gonna open it and say okay to that. So as you can see, we have the file that we've just created in Blender, and it looks a bit strange, and this is because this object is not actually an object, it's a mesh. So we don't want to work on a mesh, we want to work on an object, and for that we're gonna go to mesh, and we're gonna go to modify, and we're gonna go to convert mesh, and this is gonna convert our object from mesh into a solid body. So let's say okay to that, and obviously the color is changed, and now we could go ahead and modify anything that we want as a object. Okay, so a few things I want to do now with my object. First of all, top, as you can see, it's got so many triangles and is not something that I want to work with, and for that I'm going to switch back to solid, and I'm going to go and create a sketch, and I want to create a sketch onto this plane. So straight away looking at this, I want to make a simple cut on the top, and I also want to make a simple cut on the bottom. So I'm going to create a couple of rectangles onto this plane, and I'm going to finish this sketch, and let's have a look. I think that should be fine, and let's select these two and extrude them, and I'm going to extrude them symmetric. And again, I don't really care about how I extrude them, I just want to cut the top and the bottom out of this. So operation will be cut, and I'm going to say okay to that, and yeah, that looks so much better as a multifaceted lamp, but it's still a full solid object, and I want to turn this into an actual usable lamp. And for that I'm just gonna select the top, and I want to shell this, and I'm gonna go for 0.95 millimeters, and this is so I can have two layers, and one of the layers will be the inside layer, and the other layer will be a fuzzy skin layer. So I'm gonna say okay to that, and the next thing I want to do is I want to create a hole for my lamp holder. So I'm gonna go and create a sketch onto the surface, and my lamp holder is somewhere around 30 millimeters, so I'm gonna go with that 30 millimeters and finish the sketch. And now it's just a matter of extruding that to make a cut into the bottom of my lamp. And there it is, guys. This is my lamp, this is my multi-facade lamp, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It looks pretty nice. Let's see it actually how it prints and we're gonna say if it looks nice or not after we print it. So let's go ahead and 3D print this. So I'm gonna go to 3D print and I'm gonna select my application as Bamboo Studio, and I'm gonna select my object as my lamp 2 and say okay to that. And let's see what kind of settings we're going to use in Bamboo Studio. Okay, now I'm going to be using a generic PLA, which is going to be Elegoo translucent PLA. And I'm going to be using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle size at the 0.2 standard layer height. So let's slice this plate and see how everything looks like and how long it's going to take to print as it is. So we're looking at almost 5 hours to print, and I can actually see a few things that I could change right off the bat. So let's go and change the quality. Let's change the seam position from aligned to back, and that's going to give us a much better alignment of the seam position. And I also want to go to the fuzzy skin and activate my fuzzy skin from none to contour. And let's slice this plate and see what actually happens now. There we go. We have a fuzzy skin on this multi-facade lampshade. And I want to check something before I send it to print. And I'm going to go to filament, and I'm going to go from every single one of these options to see if anything changes and if anything would be visible with the change into my print. Because the last lampshade I've made had a few artifacts around the base, and I want to show you guys how to solve that as well. So let's go, and I want to look at the speed. And the speed is obviously a bit different, and we can visibly see those potential artifacts into my print, and I'm pretty sure all of this is going to be visible. So let's go to speed, and let's go to layer height. It's going to be normal. Line width, that's also going to be just a normal one line. The flow, it's also going to be a bit funky, so that's probably something we need to look at. The layer time, again, this doesn't really matter that much, because obviously the bottom is going to take less than the middle, so that's not something I need to worry about. Fan speed, that's constant everywhere except for the first layer, which is also normal. And the temperature, again, very normal, very consistent, 220 all the way through. So we're looking at something to do with the flow or with the speed. So one of these two has a problem. So how are we going to change this to make everything a bit more consistent? And I think we can simply change that by changing the fuzzy skin point distance from 0.8 to 0. Let's say 4, and the fuzzy skin thickness, we're gonna go 0.2. And let's slice this plate and see if anything's changed. And yes, we have a much better result now with changing the point and the thickness. And I could probably change this to 0.3 and see what happens. See if that returns. So let's slice this plate. And there we go. We have that problem coming back again. So I'm going to say fuzzy skin thickness at 0.2 is good enough. And the distance at 0.4, it's fine. Okay, so those are all the settings, and let's have a look at how much it's going to take. So this print is going to take a total time of 7 hours 58 minutes. Now, because of some heat wave that's in UK at the moment and some technical issues, I can't really film a time lapse, but I will take a few pictures while it's printing and maybe do a bit of filming. But we'll see you when the lampshade is done, and we're gonna put it up and see how it actually looks. This is it, guys. This is my finished multifaceted lampshade. You can find this file on my Patreon if you want to download it and print it yourself, and I'm probably going to upload it to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Also, if you want to support the channel directly, you can find all the links in the description below. And if there's one thing I want you to take from this video, is that Blender isn't something to be scared of. One simple modifier got me a shape that would have taken forever in Fusion 360 alone. I hope this video helped you in some way, and if you enjoyed, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.